I want to bring in our panel now. Daryl Moody is a reporter with WDBO in Orlando, also from Atlanta. We are joined by a candidate for Atlanta City Council, Mo Ivory, who's also an attorney. HLN's Mike Alano still with us as well. Mo, oftentimes, too, I find that this can get boiled down to politics. And yet, Mo, I would make the case that this has nothing to do with politics. This is about human decency.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, I've never looked to Donald Trump for human decency or politics. And so I think that he's giving us exactly what he's always given us, somebody that we can't look to for any leadership. I'm not surprised. I mean, every time I look to the TV and I know he's about to say something, I'm thinking to myself, what is this fool about to say now? No matter what it is, it's just so disturbing that this could have been his moment. This could have been something that turned everything else that has happened in the last 6 months totally around, and he could have gotten, you know, some sort of respect, not even necessarily support, but just respect from people like me and even people that voted for him that are thinking to themselves now, why did I do that? This was that moment, and he could have stood for all Americans, and he chose not to. He chose not to in the nastiest of ways, in ways that bring back and harken a time that so many of us do not want to introduce to our children. So now my 10-year-old son had a homework assignment to ask me about Charlottesville and what it all meant. And so I had to talk to him about the KKK. I had to talk to him about things that I wasn't necessarily right at this moment wanting to talk about on only the second week of school. So this was a moment for Donald Trump to be the leader he has never been in his life for anybody. And he chose not to be it for anything but a small population in our country that has tormented the existence for so many of us. And it's just time, I mean, it's just time to put that out there, to talk about the truth, and to have some real, serious, honest conversations of what America is.
There are so many conversations coming out of this. And Mo Ivory, one of the things you said before the break is you were talking about your 10-year-old son. I, too, have a 10-year-old son who came home from school this week, and his assignment was to talk to you about Charlottesville. And you said how difficult that conversation was because parts of it you weren't ready for. What was the conversation? Yes. What did you say to him?
Yeah, well, you know, we talked, you know, I'm currently running for office for the Atlanta City Council, so we're in a political mode in my house anyway. You know, we're campaigning and canvassing, so we've been having a lot of conversations. So I want them to always watch the news and to understand what's going on. But we've been talking about Donald Trump over, you know, these last 6 months from the inauguration and saying what a lack of leadership he has shown in these 6 months period, you know, in stark contrast to our last president. So today I told them and had a conversation last night, and not just my 10-year-old, the 12-year-old, the 15-year-old, my 19-year-old, all of the kids in our home. Listen, this is just an example of a man who was ill-prepared to lead anybody. And this is what happens when the issues that are in our country are revved up by our leader, and then people feel free to be able to do things that they would normally not feel, you know, so comfortable doing. Taking off the masks, showing your faces, carrying the tiki torches. I told them and showed them pictures of what it was like when the KKK did that, and I explained to them that we live in a very diverse neighborhood. But even in my neighborhood, we have to go up Grant Street to take them to school, hook a left on Confederate Avenue, and then go right on Custer in order to get where we have to go in my very own neighborhood. So it's around us all the time, the reminders. And so maybe I think the one positive thing that could come out of this is that people are mobilizing to take down these symbols, to change street signs, to become more active in their community, to promote the true diversity that exists. Let me tell you, I have been going door to door, and I talk to people, and people, white, black, Asian, you know, whatever is their persuasion, oh, they don't want this. They want unity in their community. They want to be able to talk to their neighbor. This is a small fraction of America that feels like this, that is standing behind this president that is not representative of this country. And so that's what I tell my kids, that does not represent what we stand for.
Mo Ivory, appreciate you joining us today, Mike.